That is a nice picker right there. Wow. Check out this fungus right here. I mean, this is beautiful. I've never seen anything like this in my life. That is amazing. I mean, look at the coloration on that. It looks like coral. That is beautiful. That is simply amazing. I've never ever seen anything close to that. Beautiful one. All right, so Larry came down from Alabama and he bought a brand new Keen 4-inch dredge. And so it rained a lot this weekend and the river's pretty muddy and pretty high. So we're gonna try to set this thing up in the creek and take it out for its maiden voyage. All right, Larry's here running some material right now. Maiden voyage of the Keen 4-inch. Larry came down from Alabama to do some dredging with me today. And we're just gonna chew up as much of this creek as we can. So unfortunately today we couldn't use the river because it was chocolate milk. So we're trying to use a 4-inch dredge in a small creek. And so Larry's gonna be seeing what he can do, seeing how it works out. And while he's doing that, we're also going to be running a sluice box. But yeah, it's really unfortunate we couldn't use the river today. Now, I'm wondering if this is turned up high enough. I would expect there to be more flow coming out of this 4-inch. Yeah, Larry's never used a dredge before either. Yeah, I would think we need a lot more flow coming out of here. I mean, a lot more. This thing should be blasting. Yeah, so, I mean, they ran a little bit of material, not too much, just because, like I said, it's really not conducive. We got a lot of big, heavy rocks and pretty shallow water. I mean, using a dredge of this size in a creek like this, you know, it just really wasn't conducive. But we ran a little bit of material, and so he's going to do a clean out and see if there's anything in the box. Hopefully there is. Was it pretty easy to break down? No?
Not this part here.
Yeah. Well, I think.
Two-man job.
Yeah, I think, you know, once you've done it a few times,
it'll be a lot easier.
Yeah, it'd be a lot easier. Like I said, it would have been nice if we could have got somebody out here like Tim Ellis. You know, he's got almost the same dredge, and he's got a YouTube. If you haven't seen Tim Ellis's YouTube channel, you need to check that out. But one of these days we're gonna get together. But he could have taught us a lot. I mean, to tell you the truth, all three of us are rookies. It's his first time ever looking for gold. Well, ever finding gold at least. He's been doing it for about a year, but he hasn't had many opportunities to go out, and I've been doing it for 6 months. So yeah, we're all learning. We got nobody out here showing us what to do today. We got the blind leading the blind. So I'm up here running buckets through the sluice. I'm really kind of feeling bad because he's got that brand new dredge, and it's just really not conducive to using a 4-inch dredge where we're at. The river was just too high and too muddy. You know, we kind of had this plan for a few weeks, and you know, he drove all the way up here from Alabama, and it just didn't work out. So I mean, we're gonna try to get as much gold as we can using the river sluices, but I mean, we're still having fun, you know. I met a guy off the street, and he's always been wanting to find gold. You know, he was just chilling by the river in his truck, you know, saw the sluice box in the back seat, and he's like, "Oh, you guys looking for gold?" I'm like, yeah, we're looking for gold. "Oh, come on, I really want to find some gold. I've never done that before. I got my sluice bucks in my truck too." And so I brought him out here as my guest, and 2 weekends in a row, I helped 2 different people find their first gold. So that's pretty awesome. I picked this guy up on the side of the road over here. He's like, "You guys looking for gold?" He's like, "I want to look for gold." And so I think he's probably gonna end up joining the club too, but he just found his first gold a few minutes ago as well. So you found your very first gold today?
Yes.
You never looked for gold before in your life? Well, you panned earlier.
I never found it.
But
panned for fun.
Yeah.
Never
All right, so this is his first time feeding a sluice too, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, you think you're gonna join the club too?
Today.
You're gonna join the club today?
As soon as I leave here.
Awesome, man.
Nice.
I've gotten 3 people into the club in the last couple weeks.
Really?
Yeah. You, the guy I made a video with last weekend.
Yeah.
And then the guy I met off the street.
Literally.
He's like, what, "You guys out looking for gold? Is that a sluice box in your back seat?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Oh man, I'd like to do that." I was like, "Well, come on, you can be my guest." So yeah, you did a pan a little bit ago from right up the creek right there, and found what, maybe 3 or 4 specks in there. This is actually about perfect. I mean, this is ideal. That V is basically dead center. I mean, the black sand creeps a little bit, but I mean, the first riffle, it clears out. That's perfect. That is perfect. The water coming off of the end is even. Everything looks nice and level. This is exactly how you want to run your sluice. Wow, he asked me earlier, "Oh, is that gold right in there?" And I'm like, no. We don't have gold that big, but man, that's a nugget right there, isn't it? I mean, it's at least a big picker. Dude, that is a piece of gold. Here, let me get in the light a little bit better.
Yeah.
Dude, you don't find very many pieces. Heck yeah, that's a piece of gold. Let me see if I can get in the light right there. It's really hard. There it is right there. That is not a small piece of gold right there. Let me see, you might be able to see it better from. Wow, I don't think the camera's picking it up because of the glare. But dude, that's a big old piece of gold right there. Wow! I couldn't help myself. I had to suck it up with the snuffer bottle. So, I mean, it's definitely gold. Yes, sir. Look at that. And it's iron stained. And it's a picker. That is a nice picker right there. Wow. That is one of the bigger pieces of gold that I found out here. You see the iron staining on it? See how it's kind of red? See what I'm talking about? Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's iron staining. But dude, this is one of the biggest pieces of gold I found out here. Let's see if it makes a sound. Oh yeah. You're like, "Oh, is that gold?" I'm like, no, there's no way that's gold. It's too big. let me zoom in on that thing now. That is, I think, the biggest piece of gold that I've found on this property. That's insane. I like showing new guys how to get gold. Spreading the fever. So I'm up here eating, and the new guy that I found on the street had already made a little dolly pot, and he just gave it to me out of gratitude. So that was pretty awesome. I've been needing one of these for the longest time. So the guy that gave me that dolly pot, I said I found him on the street, but he actually recognized me. It was like, "Oh yeah, you're Rookie Gold Prospector?" So that was pretty crazy. I've never had that happen before, but he watched my videos too, so that's pretty cool. I don't know what it is about new guys and adventure sluices, but 2 weeks in a row, the new guy brought an adventure sluice. So apparently my strategy is let new guys use the full-size sluice while I use the adventure sluice. So this is how we roll with the adventure sluice, tablespoon style. Running buckets with the tablespoon. Might be clearing out too fast, but I'm not too worried about it, honestly. I'm just having a good time. That's hilarious. And if I'm not mistaken, right there, it's a pretty decent sized piece of gold. I'm kind of surprised it made it past those first smaller riffles, but I don't know, we'll see. I'll pan it out in a second. So that's like a third of a bucket right there, and some of those pieces are a little chunkier too. Yeah, I would like to get down to Alabama and check out the gold situation down there. Oh, the clay didn't break up. That's all right.
And that's the kind of clay you want to break up.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah. So, yeah, you can just kind of do that with this. But man, it is nice having some good flow out here. But it has slowed down a lot since this morning.
Yeah.
I mean, because it rained a lot last night and this morning, and then the water's already dropped quite a bit. So it'd even be harder to dredge now.
Oh God, yes.
Than it was earlier. Yeah, that really stinks that the weather didn't. You drove all the way up here from Alabama, and the weather just wasn't conducive to it. Because normally that river is clear. You know, you can get some underwater footage, and
well, I've done been over that river right there where you took me several times today, and I mean, yeah, the one you took me to today, but I've
the
been
Etowah?
over it, yeah, several times this week while I've been on vacation.
And the water was clear, wasn't it?
Yes, and man, I've been thinking to myself, God, I wish I could get in there.
Yeah, well, it's just been hard to carry it by yourself.
Oh God, yeah, this ain't no one. That's not no one.
No, not a 4-inch. A 4-inch is kind of a group project.
Yes, sir. You're going to have at least 2 people for sure.
Yeah.
And I prefer 3.
Yeah.
Because of Buddy, because if I go underwater, if I ain't got somebody helping me with Buddy wants to be right there with me,
Yeah, for sure.
He will try to go underwater with me.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. The thing about the Etowah is that, what they told me is if you get in over your head, wait 5 seconds and stand up.
Yep.
Because it's it might have some deep spots, but it's shallow enough to where, in other spots that if you can't touch where you're at,
wait a couple seconds.
Wait a couple seconds and you'll be able to touch. But that doesn't mean you can't hit your head on the rock and
that's true.
And really get hurt. So but yeah, maybe some other time you can come up here when the weather's a little bit nicer, or I can go down to Alabama and we can run the sluice down, or run the dredge down there.
Yeah, we can do both. You come down there one time, I'll come up here another time.
Yeah, I mean, that's one thing I really want to do with my channel. If I can put together enough money to travel around and go to different places and prospect with all different kinds of people all over the country.
Well, look,
I want to go to Alaska. I want to go to Arizona. I want to go to Oregon, California. I'd like to check all of it out.
Well, I tell you,
even Australia.
Alabama Gold Camp is about an hour and a half from my house. You get to my house and you'll have a place to stay. You ain't got to worry about no
hotels and all that. Well, I appreciate that. Look at these guys over here cleaning up their cons. All right, so we're just going to do a quick and dirty look at it. At the rookies cleanup here. Wow, already in the corner. Wow, this might be a pretty good cleanup. I mean, usually when you see it on the corner like that, that early, oh my God. Dude, you might have, I don't even know. Let's just see. So, yesterday was your first time finding gold?
Correct.
Correct.
Yes, sir.
Nice. Yeah, we just kind of stopped by the river for a minute yesterday, and he was just sitting in his truck. He had just been panning, just kind of took the hobby up recently, and he was like, "Are you looking for gold?" He saw my metal sluice box in the back seat. I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Oh, are you rookie gold prospector?" I'm like, "Yeah, man, come on, let's go. Let me show you where the gold is." And so we've been hanging out, getting some gold, and
Teaching me some things.
I stole his pan out of his hand, and so I could pan his cons for him, because I just wanted to see real quick, you know. But obviously, it's going to take you a long time to pan through all this. But we're just going to take a quick look. I mean, look how much black sand's in there. I mean, I would highly recommend classifying your concentrates out before you... Oh, I'm trying to pan sideways.
Sophie, Auburn, Daddy love you. Amber, I love you, baby. So shout out to my family.
You got a family that's cool enough to let you come out here and have some fun, so...
I got the best family.
That's awesome, man. Wow, I almost want to class... Oh, look at that. You got a big old piece of lead there. Big old lead BB. I mean, I didn't pan through it carefully at all. I just wanted to take a look before he had to go home, and I couldn't see how much gold he has. I need you to weigh this up after you clean it up, man, so we can kind of see how much you ended up getting. But, I mean, you got some chunkier pieces. Look at that. Those are not small pieces. I don't know if this is a picker or not, but, I mean... It's still pretty. It's almost a picker. It's kind of flat. All right. Well, snuffer that up before we lose it. But, man, that's his first ever sluice box cleanup. And I think it's going to be enough to weigh, especially after you pan the rest of it out carefully. So, we'll take your cons with you, and let's see what I got. So, I'm going to dump out my snuffer real quick. I am pretty stoked how I may have found my biggest piece that I've ever found here at this creek, but won't know until I put it on the scale. The biggest piece I found out here is 0.04, so I'm going to weigh that up when I get home. I may beat 0.04 on that, I'm not sure. Oh, I found a couple little relics in my pan. 2 small square nails. I mean, that's a tiny nail right there. I don't know if that's just all that's left or what, but that's pretty cool. And here's what I got, or most of it. And look at that picker right there. I mean, that is a legit picker right there. Look at that. Let's hear it. Oh, yeah. That's a picker. If it would focus. There we go. Pretty darn good. I hear the thunder in the background, so we better get to moving. But yeah, it's all throughout. There's quite a bit of gold there, so can't wait to weigh that all up and see what we got. But I got 90% of that with the adventure sluice, and then I ran probably 2 full buckets yesterday out of the gold hog. So I don't know, maybe total I maybe ran 5 buckets. If we're talking about full buckets. So, I mean, for 5 buckets, I'm pretty happy with that. Wow. So the thunder's rolling in, and probably about to head out a little bit early today. But, I mean, it's been a pretty good weekend. You know, I had 2 subscribers. One of them totally unplanned. He was just, we just found him sitting in his truck. And the other one... He drove all the way up from Alabama and brought his dredge. You know, unfortunately, we didn't get to do a lot of dredging because the river was chocolate milk, but we set it up anyway. He got a little bit of gold. When he gets home, he's going to clean it up and send me a picture. But I mean, it's been a great weekend. Everybody got some gold. All right, let's check out the picker by itself. 0.07 grams. 0.09. There we go. 0.08. 0.08 grams for the picker. All right, let's see how we did. .15 grams. Not too bad. All right, let's weigh up the total. .75 on the button. Man, that's a pretty pile of gold right there.